Want more podcast fandom in your ear holes? Of course you do. And so it's a good thing for you that we are back beginning all new coverage of some of your favorite shows. And you can still head over to patreon.com/podcastfandom to become a premium subscriber for access to our coverage of shows like Westworld, WandaVision, Loki, Attack on Titan, The Legend of Korra, and more. Also, if you are on Clubhouse, look up our club, Podcast Fandom, where we talk about shows like The Walking Dead and WandaVision. It's so much fun because you guys get to listen live as we discuss TV shows and then come up on stage to ask your questions and share your thoughts. It's a lot of fun. Oh, and we also host game nights there. So make sure you join and follow us. And now, get into this free shit. Hey guys, welcome to Podcast Fandom, the official podcast for ProjectFandom.com. I'm your host, Nina.
And I'm Donald.
And we are back to discuss The Walking Dead, Season 11, Episode 22, Faith. Listen. First of all, I just want to say that when we are done recording this, we're going to watch Episode 23 and record. And earlier today on Twitter, Rosita is trending. I don't know why Rosita is trending, but let me just say, if they killed my girl 2 episodes before the series finale, I'm going to be hot on this podcast next week.
I told you, it's got a high rating so far. I think it's one of the highest ratings in the whole series.
How many?
9.4.
Don't fuck with me. People love big moments like deaths and stuff like that. But that said, this episode ended like fire. So I'm not surprised, even without a big major death, if next week's or this next episode is amazing, because so much happened in this episode that sets up just a lot of shit we've been waiting for.
Yep.
So what did you think? Do you even remember the episode? We watched it a few days ago.
Barely. I know
I got good notes.
It was the trial. It was
Yes.
Eugene's trial.
Yes.
And he was found
That
guilty.
Sham of a trial.
And he's going to be executed within an hour.
Yes, that happened. What else?
The other one was the getting everybody together, basically rescuing the...
Within Alexandria, right? Going to Alexandria.
They all, like, Carol and all them separate, like, they all went in groups of 2 and had to, like, infiltrate Alexandria to get them...
Infiltrate their home.
Yep, to get them rescued because they were getting ready to execute Negan.
Do you remember when we first found Alexandria, how Rick was he was going to take that shit from Deanna?
Yep.
And everybody's like, if you don't fucking act like you got some home training. He was like, we need to take this place over. They weak. Yes. And then there was one other thing, which we'll talk about when we get to talking about it. But yes, those are the things that happened. Do you remember the end?
Well, they got together and they said, let's go get... they were going to go take over or go kill, what's her name, wasn't it?
Pamela.
Yeah.
That bitch. She better die. That's who better die in this episode, number 23. All right, so let's talk about it. Negan, Zeke, and Marta. That's her name. I could not think of that girl's name. Yumiko's ex?
Yes.
Okay. They are assessing the situation within Alexandria as Daryl's watching. Like, they got binoculars or something. They're watching from the outside, right? Mm-hmm. Aaron, Elijah, Lydia, and Jerry. Do you remember who they met on the road?
They went to...
They were headed to Oceanside. Who did they meet outside of Oceanside?
The other guy from...
the violin guy.
Yeah, and I don't even remember him leaving.
I forgot about him. He moved to Oceanside to be with that girl.
Yeah, and they were out on their way back, and they said that some shit happened at Oceanside.
Because the Oceanside guy... Right, because remember, when Aaron and them got out before the turn... Right. Aaron and them got out before Pamela's people started gripping everybody up.
Right.
So they thought they were on their way to Oceanside to tell them everything's good now.
Yes.
Right, and
they
didn't know.
They still don't
Pamela
know that,
turned on all
right,
of them,
and they still don't know that Alexandria got taken over because they were like, "All right, we need to go to Alexandria because that's where everybody else is." At.
Now, all we need is for Pamela to take her ass to Alexandria for some reason, so she can catch these hands.
She ain't going to. She ain't.
She
gonna
need
leave.
to catch these.
I think
hands.
they're gonna all get together and they're just gonna fucking form an army and just go and take over this fucking this
episode is gonna be amazing. Okay. So, but yes, this is where Aaron and them learn out that Oceanside has been taken over by the Commonwealth. At Eugene's trial, it's so fucking clear this shit is just, what do they call it, kangaroo court?
Yeah.
The judge is like overruling all of Yumiko's objections.
Yep.
She's clearly not here for this shit. She's just already made up her mind. When Pamela's on the stand, they ask her about the lottery, and she says that was not her son's voice.
Yes.
In that recording.
They altered it.
This woman. How do you think she gonna go out? You think somebody gonna kill her? Because I feel like that's like...
They have to.
But you can't. Like, I feel like that...
That's
like going backwards. That's like going back to that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this situation, the way things are, I just feel like you can't go back to that kind of do you know what I mean?
What if the other dude? Because remember, they didn't kill him. We're supposedly turned into a zombie. What if he comes
with
back,
the thing in his neck?
Comes back and they get him
Hornsby.
to kill her.
Not get him to. That's still killing her.
Well, they could find him and lead him in there or some shit.
That's killing her. But I mean, they can't be like. I just don't know that they are.
She's gonna die.
I don't know. I feel like they may try to I feel like they're gonna try to say what she was trying to do was noble. Like, she was trying to go back to a civilized, fair world. Although,
but it was
one could argue that our world was never civilized and fair. But you get what I'm saying. And I just don't. This isn't like season 4. Where you have beef with another group and then it's like, we're going to go there to kill them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, even though that's what she's doing, I just don't feel like people like Mercer and all them are going to allow that. I feel like they're going to try to take her down in a way that doesn't, I just don't think they're just going to.
But what do you do? Because she's got people behind her. So it's.
Well, does she? Because Mercer at the end of this episode, but remember, I feel like they have been setting up not just this season, but whatever, since we've met these people in this community, that the people look to Mercer, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's when Yumiko was trying to get to his dumbass in this episode,
right? That he
she was saying, right, that if he says it's gonna go a long way, it's kind of like it's, how can I put it? Like, think of you have I feel like people follow her and believe because she's a politician, right? And she's just in charge. And she's made it so that they could have this life, the ice cream and the apartments and all this shit, right? And even if you don't quite trust her, it's think about how we have Biden. You have a president that you don't 100% get behind, but that was who you had to choose between him and Trump, right? But Mercer seems like that kind of he's for the people. And if he's the type, you know how there's some, I'm doing a poor job explaining it, but it feels like, you know how there's some people, they're like, if he ran for president, he could win. But it's not a politician, like a celebrity.
Right.
Like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves ran for president, he would absolutely win because people love him. He has zero policies, they don't give a shit. But I feel like Mercer is that type of person. The community loves him. And the military would follow him more than they would follow her, I think. And I think that's the point that they were trying to tell him.
I guess also the people that they rescued from Alexandria, because those are all people that were taken out and put into slavery. Yes. They're going to have all these people bring them back.
I didn't even think about that. Yes, that's perfect.
They have all them behind them.
Because they don't know. Because that's the other thing. I think that's what they
people
thought.
Don't believe
people
it
who got exiled or
right.
when they tell you can just leave anytime, I don't think they know that those people were sent to that.
Right. Because she's saying it was all a lie.
Right. They might hang her ass. I take it back. Never mind. Yeah, they might hang her. So, Negan tries to... I'd forgotten all about this kid. One of the guys with them in this like chain gang situation they got going on in Alexandria is in the very... Oh man, see, I feel like you didn't watch some episodes, but I could be wrong. But do you remember very early on when they first got to the Commonwealth, some guy had complaints. Like he was trying to tell them this shit ain't right here. And that there are people, like poor people, being treated wrong and all this stuff. And he had gripped up Max, Mercer's sister. It was like holding her hostage to get their attention. You know what I mean? Like, and he got arrested for it. So he was sent to this. And he's there. And Negan and them are like, we can probably get him. Because he has followers too. Like all of his people that were protesting her shit are sent there. And they approach him and he's like, nah. I can't rock with y'all because they'll fucking kill us. Sorry. And then Negan is taken to see the warden. You're right. That guy is the warden. And this was interesting because before the warden can tell him what he's there for, one of the guard that brought Negan in, he had asked to like get some leave or something, because, He wanted to go back to the. Yes,
he wanted to be transferred.
Go back to the Commonwealth because his brother is there and is sick, and he might not have much time left. And they told him no.
Yep, and he's making his stay even longer. Yeah, because he never went to the warden. He was going beyond. He
went over his head to request it, and then the guy did the Arthur fist because he was mad, and Negan saw it, and I was like, but you know, there's that like cockiness, like. Why would you do that? Like, why would you, in front of a prisoner, treat one of your guards that way? Like, why would you, you know what I mean? Like, that's cocky. That's what I mean. That's cockiness. Like, I wouldn't do that.
But then here, he's telling Negan that, hey, I'll let you see your wife if you tell me who
drew this map, because they found that map that they had made. Or, not the map, but it was... They were writing down the guards where they were and like their rotations and stuff, right?
And then next thing we know, we see Negan in there with his wife. We're like, oh shit, he
took the deal, right? Carol and Maggie sneak into Alexandria and end up finding Herschel. Which, this was so weird to me because they were in like one of the houses in some room and they heard him like crying or something, and he was like tied up to a chair. Did they kill a guard that was in there with him?
Yeah, remember that was where Maggie just walked in, didn't even question it, just opened the door and fired. And you're like, what if that guy was just making him some spaghetti?
That's true. I forgot about that. That's right.
But you said she didn't even think. She just opened fire.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
she's like, that's my son.
But I just don't understand like why they had her son separate too.
I don't know, because we saw that was the only kid.
Because he didn't know where the other kids were. And then Daryl and Connie are traveling into Alexandria through those tunnels, and the tunnels are now like overgrown with like,
and there's zombies in there,
plants and stuff like that. And I remember those are the tunnel systems they escaped through,
and that's where Carl died.
Who are they escaped? Who? Negan's people. They were beefing with Negan's people at that time. That's right. Yeah, and he didn't die in there, but that's where we discovered he got bitten.
Yes.
When Rick and them showed up. I like with Eugene's final words, like he's talking about like the type of man he used to be.
Because I forgot he was with Negan in his group. So I made a mistake. I joined the wrong group.
Yes. And I like how he's like making eye contact with people, and at one point he like looks over at the judge. She literally has a look on her face like, don't look at me, I'm already bought and paid for it. Like, I am not here for you. But yeah, like you said, he's found guilty, and they said he's scheduled for execution within the hour. And then Negan, like the warden brings Negan out because Negan took responsibility for everything. Right? You thought everybody was getting gripped up and brought outside, and you thought he had turned and that they were going to kill Ezekiel and stuff. But it was Negan. And this was very much like what Negan did to Rick's group. Remember? There's like, it's nighttime. There's a spotlight. You put all these people on their knees to make them watch this thing, and they put Negan on his knees in front of his wife, and you can see that this struck Ezekiel, because Ezekiel thought that Negan didn't have this in him.
Right.
And earlier in the episode, Ezekiel brought up, and I knew that this was it, because last week when he was like, we ain't friends, and I ain't forget what you did, I was like, everybody, not that Negan has been forgiven, but I was trying to remember specifically, like, why Ezekiel, because they haven't, because he said, for years, I've been avoiding you, right?
Right.
And then it hit me, Henry's brother.
And he brings that up.
And I remember, and it's so weird, because I, like, remembered that randomly a couple of weeks ago, that whole thing. Because that was when the kingdom, remember the people of the kingdom didn't even know that they were giving shit to Negan's people, because that guy, was it Gary or some shit? He would, remember they were taking them the pigs, but first they would feed the pigs walkers. You remember that? Yeah. They were giving Negan that tainted meat and stuff. And then it was in one of those exchanges that guy killed Henry's brother.
Yep.
And
Negan was like wearing his armor.
That's right. And this is when Ezekiel's like, I haven't forgotten that shit. And I don't think that, like, Negan even says, like, he didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about. Mm-hmm. He didn't know that kid.
Nope. It was his people.
But
during this whole thing, because you had, we didn't know where Daryl, we didn't know where anybody was. We just saw this going on. So we knew Daryl and them were there somewhere from the sewers.
So I just thought somebody was going to get sniped out.
Well, we knew because they had left Rosita and Gabe back to snipe. They said, your guys are going to be the lookout. You're the best sniper we have, so you guys are back here. And she didn't like that because she wanted to be in there where... She wanted to find her Coco because they had Coco. So she wanted to be in there trying to find Coco. But we had seen Carol and them already infiltrated. We're like, all right, where the fuck are they? We knew Daryl and them were coming up in there. So this whole thing going on, you're just like, where the fuck are they? And it's dark outside. But yeah, they had him, and they were going to execute him, but then he's like, you know what, I'm going to make an example, and it pulled his wife up there, and like, we're going to execute, but he's like, this ain't part of the deal. But I like that they brought, that it was Ezekiel, right, that jumped up there, so you basically stood in front of him, it's like, you're going to have to kill me if you can kill me.
Right, and then more people did.
Not everybody. Some of those people are like,
I don't know him. Shit. I ain't know him.
Some strangers did, but
some strangers did.
Yeah, but some were like, I don't know.
And the guard who got denied
yes.
was the first one to be like, I ain't doing this shit, and turned on the other guards.
Killed the other guards.
Yeah.
And then freaking then the warden puts a knife to Negan's wife. Was that who he gripped?
Kelly.
Oh, Kelly.
I think it was Kelly.
Gripped up Kelly and put a knife to her.
And that's when Daryl walked up behind him.
Just took him out.
And then, where'd they get the walker? Was it one of the guards that got shot and turned?
Yes.
And Rosita threatened him with the walker.
Yeah.
To tell where her kids were.
Yep.
And he didn't, so she just let him get eaten.
What if they're at Oceanside?
Well, all the women are to raise the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Sexist.
Because we know they took over Oceanside. So.
And then they're bringing Eugene out to get executed, and Mercer shows up. He's like, let's fuck shit up.
Well, no, Eugene wasn't even... Yeah,
they were transferring him to... Yeah.
That's right, he was in jail.
Mm-hmm. So,
And that's how it went off.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, guys. I had to go cuss a white man out real quick, because... They don't know how to act. Not this one. Not Donnie. It was one I don't know. It's a motherfucker named Paul. Not today. Maybe later. Mm-hmm. But this time I had to go cuss out this white man named Paul. Talk about we should go grab a beer. Motherfucker, you don't go wash your legs first. What is that?
Hyundai's factory. It's Korea.
Korea? Mm-hmm. How do you know it's Korea?
Because it's Hyundai.
Dude. No. I don't even think that's Korea. That's not Korean at the bottom.
Oh.
It usually tells you. China. Beijing, China. Anyway, sorry guys, that's not why you're here. So that's it. Right?
Yep. Now I'm about to go fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
2 episodes left.
Do you think Rick and Michonne are going to make an appearance in this series?
I'm telling you, I would love them to show up at the finale.
They kind of have to, right? Like, I feel like you can't end this series and just be like, well, if you want to see all the people that you love that you know are still alive in this universe, you got to go watch these other shows.
Right.
I feel like you have to have them in this show.
Right.
Oh, my stomach hurts. What if that's why it's so rated so high?
They show up at the end?
Maybe. Because the episode's rated really high, and I can't see it being rated that high if Rosita dies. Like, what? Unless it's just a really good episode and Rosita dies.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week to talk about episode 23. How many more wait.
Just 2 left.
23 and 24?
Yeah, this is the penultimate of the series.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week to talk about Rosita's death. No, I'm just kidding. Bye.